Stephanie, aka French Nygma, for Last One on Sports Pro Wrestling, Worldwide Wrestling. I'm delighted today to welcome someone I would call an old friend and a good friend, Eddie Edwards. How are you,
Hello,
Eddie?
thank you. I'm doing good. Thank you for having me as always. Always nice to catch up. So I'm glad we can do this today.
It's always a pleasure to find a friend, if I can say it like that, someone who has supported me and my horrible French accent for so many years. So
We all appreciate.
uh, I'm gonna start with the. I don't want to start. Not gonna start with TNA first, but talk about the system because the system I call the system 2.0, but there's been quite a revolution in the system. So what happened? What happened to you all? Do you think these guys, Moose GDC, GDC was retiring, but Moose, what happened? What was the state of mind that made you say, I don't want these two guys, I want two other guys?
Yeah, sometimes it's like something just kind of clicked over time. Where if you don't deal with Moose on a daily basis, you're not going to understand. But there's a lot of things that went into making the decision that it was time for the system to make a change. Just because I think we felt, myself and Brian, we felt that we became stagnant as a group. We kind of peaked, and we realized that in Moose's mind, it was all about Moose. It was all about Moose. Whenever we were in the back, he wasn't concerned about what was best for the group as a system. He was worried about what's best for Moose. What do I need to do? What does he need to do? Meanwhile, everybody else in the group, we're trying to worry about what we can do as this family that we thought we had. But in the end, we have to make tough decisions. But I'm very confident that we made the right decision because now it's just about the system. We replace him with Cedric and Bear, and no more JDC, no more Moose. And now it feels like the wheels are turning again. Now we're all on the same page. And these guys are hungry. Bear and Cedric, they're hungry. They're ready to get out there and make a name for themselves within the system, which is exactly what we need right now.
You were defining, and Brian too, the system as a brotherhood. Um, this time you bring younger talents that maybe I know Brian was trainer of Bear Bronson. Cedric is uh, he has been in the ring for quite a while, but they are a bit younger. Uh, you wanted to put some new blood in the system or change the point of view that you are still a brotherhood, but this time we're creating something different.
Yeah. We also, we looked at guys that wanted that shot, that they've been waiting in the wings, waiting for an opportunity. And that's been Cedric for a while in TNA. He came in and he had a few opportunities for the X Division Championship and he wasn't able to win it, but you could see that he wanted more. And with Bear, Bear came in and he did a couple of matches for us. He won that battle royal and had the match against Frankie, and you could see that he's somebody who's hungry, who just wanted a chance. And for us, it's the perfect pair to bring Cedric and Bear in when Moose is just worried about Moose and focused on that. When you could tell that Bear and Cedric, they wanted this environment, they wanted a family atmosphere to help get them to the next level. And I think that's what we're able to do. With JDC, he's retired. He was retiring. He was done. It was about his farewell. It wasn't about what was best for the system next. And now we have Cedric and Bear, who are two guys that are just ready to go out there and prove the loyalty within the system, which is exactly what we need. We needed, like you said, that new blood, and it's the perfect jump start to the system to get us back on the right track to where we need to be.
I may be wrong, but when I saw the match at Genesis live, it was like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. So imagine the.
Yeah.
I felt like I saw two different people. I felt like you were, I'm not going to say slow to start, but you were not as offensive as usual. And suddenly it switched and you became you became the gladiators we are used to watching wrestling. And I don't know if it was like for you, like the moment when you realize things are supposed to change, but I would have been disappointed not to see you be yourself in the ring. Right or wrong, I'm not sure.
Yeah, no, that's right. You know, in that match at Genesis, there's a lot of emotions and a lot of circumstances going into it. You know, it's a big moment where, you know, JDC, he was a big part of my life and my career. So going in knowing it's his last match, that's a lot of pressure. And also, he is my brother. He was my brother at the time. Where do I want to be the guy that ends his career? And maybe if I'm going full speed, is he gonna get hurt? Is something gonna go wrong? So in those moments, those matches like that, it takes a little bit to get going. But once he hit me a few times and I hit him a few times, then it was like, okay, this is what we need to do. So I was a bit timid going in, at the start. There's a lot of emotions, but we got through that, and in the end, we beat the hell out of each other.
And now you have a kind of couple crisis as your own wife is against your decision. I hope at home it's not too complicated.
Yeah, we've done a good job, I think, of separating work life and home life. Of course, at times they're gonna intercede and they're gonna cross, and
Why
of
not?
course at home, yeah, at home there's some issues sometimes, but it's we're very much trying to keep it out of the home because it is work related, it's business related. And she's not happy that she wasn't obviously a part of the decision that we made, me and Brian. But um you know it, this is what happens with couples. We sometimes, with the system, we had to put the system ahead of what was best for any one individual, and that includes myself and Alisha and Brian. We had to put the group first, and she clearly wasn't prepared for that, and I've been dealing with it as best as I can. But if she doesn't want to be a part of the system, that's on her. Honestly, that's going to be on her. But I would say, uh, lending a helping hand to Moose is not the right decision on her part. So hopefully she just decides to step away if she needs to, and not be involved at all.
You also now have a briefcase that is allowing you to have the World Championship match. Um, was it a surprise? Were you expecting another chance? You're former two-time world champion. Were you expecting to be given another chance?
I think, of course, we know in wrestling, it's like you never say never, and you never know what's right around the corner, type of thing. So, going into that match, and of course, everybody's trying to get a briefcase, and my brother Myers sacrificed himself with jumping off that top rope to allow me to grab that briefcase. No, I think we've been doing, as a group, as the system, and for myself, I feel like I've been doing my job to the best of my ability for a long time now. So I'm always prepared for that next opportunity. And when I get that opportunity for the world title shot or whatever it may be, I make sure that I'm ready. And I feel in this case, especially with everything that's going on with the system and having that world title shot on top of it, that's kind of like, this is the perfect place to be. This is the perfect scenario where, we want to really make a statement for the system. Capturing that world title would be the best way to do it.
The fact is, you are not the only one, because Mike Santana has become a human target because he nicknamed us Frankie Kazarian. Who else? You
Leon,
like
Leon
running after
Slater.
him.
Yeah.
Uh, It's not the easy one to when you have so many people that uh, could be championed to. But in the end, would you like to defeat Mike Santana or anyone else, taking a kind of pride of defeating one man or another?
I think I would gladly defeat Santana at this point. I'm not gonna, you can't debate it. He has put in a lot of work to get to where he is, but I've tried to tell him that I've been where he is and I know how it feels to have those targets on your back. And, he tends to, he's this lone wolf who wants to brush people off when they try to give him advice and stuff like that. So, no, I would happily be the one to dethrone Mike, especially right now. I think that would be the best thing for me and for the system if we can really show our dominance right now by defeating Santana, who's been, he's been on fire. I'm not gonna lie, he's a great world champion. So for me to go in and defeat him, I think that would really set the tone for what the system is all about right now.
Mm. We didn't have the chance to talk before the AMC deal, but now we can. And it's not only the TNA on the AMC deal. Um, we have tappings in the Atlanta March 5, 6. We have, I checked my book because there's so much. Sacrifice March 27, New Orleans. Rebellion, Cleveland, Ohio, April 11, and Syracuse just after. Pre-sale started today, guys, if you want your tickets. Uh, it's not just the deal of TNA on the MC. The company is on fire. And you're there. You have seen, I don't know how many versions of TNA from the Global Force Wrestling and Impact, etc., etc. What makes this moment so important to you?
It's it's the blood, sweat, and tears that have gone into it. And I don't just mean, about myself. I mean the locker room as a whole, and I mean the guys and girls who are no longer a part of the locker room. There's been a lot of people who have busted their asses to get to this point, to get to that TV deal, who aren't a part of the company right now, but they put their blood and their sweat and their tears into this company to get to where we are now. And it's just collectively as a whole to be able to sit back, take a step back, and realize like this was the goal that we wanted. This is what we've been aiming for. And to finally accomplish it after, so many ups and downs over, not just my career in TNA, but TNA as a whole, there's been a lot of ups and downs. And there's been moments where you didn't think this time would come. You didn't think that you'd get this new TV deal, but now we did. And we're with the AMC. And it's to be able to step back and be like, we did it. It's an amazing feeling for myself and for the locker room as a whole because we have battled, we have busted our asses, and to be able to do it now, it's an amazing feeling. But we also have to understand that this is still just the beginning. This is what we wanted. Now we have to go out there and we have to deliver each and every week and put on the best show that we can. And I'm confident we can do it, but we can't stop working now. This is when the real work begins.
I'm talking about AMC, of course, but Sportsnet in Canada and TNA Plus, thank God. For me, like me in France, TNA Plus. Last time we talked, you said you definitely want to finish and your career in TNA. More than ever, is it the case?
Oh yeah, I mean, I never want to leave TNA, and I never I never want to stop wrestling either at this point. You know what I mean? It's especially with everything going on, it's such a great atmosphere, within TNA, within the system. We got everything's kind of clicking, and we feel like we're all on the same page. So I'm not trying to leave or go anywhere anytime soon.
And I'm going to finish with this because AJ retired officially in Atlanta. What do you want to say about that?
It's a. I'm not going to be able to say anything that others haven't said. He is truly, one of the best of all time. And that goes inside the ring, but also outside of the ring. Anybody who's ever met him or talked to him outside the ring, he is a genuine human being, a genuine nice guy, which sometimes in wrestling that can be hard to find. But he is one of the best to ever do it, and somebody that you're not going to find. There's nobody around that's going to say a bad word about AJ Styles because that's the type of guy he is, and he's somebody who's always led by example. And if anybody wants to try to model their career, whether you're getting into wrestling or you're already in wrestling, you look at a guy like AJ Styles, and that's somebody who has done it right. So AJ, if you ever see this, I'd like to say thank you, AJ, for everything you did for TNA, and I try to tell him that every time he comes by TNA, thank you for being here because TNA as a whole wouldn't be here without him.
And today I was delighted to talk to the man who is the heart and the soul of this company, who has never stopped being the heart and soul of this company, who has supported it whatsoever. Thank you, Eddie. Thank you for always welcoming me for these interviews. It's an honor and a pleasure. Thank you so much.